Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone here today and our viewing audience to the April 25th, 2019 meeting of the City of Davenport Zoning Board of Adjustment. Your participation in city government is appreciated and welcome. If you have a pager or cell phone, please turn it off now. Even if it's in silent mode, it may interfere with the room's electronics. My name is Kathleen Hart, Chairman, and the members present today are to my far left, Lynn Cochran. To my immediate left, Jim Reisdorfer, who is Vice Chair. To my immediate right is Judith Lee, and to my far right, Carrie Strayhall. Staff present today is Staff Copes, and from legal, Mallory Hoyt. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is a 5-member judicatory board established by state law. We're appointed by the mayor and are confirmed by the city council to serve without compensation for a 5-year term. We normally meet twice each month to hear appeals involving hardship from strict application of current zoning laws. We may also grant variances and rule on a variety of discretionary permits. Were there any corrections that need to be made to the minutes from our last meeting? Lynn?
Yes, I was not present at the April 11th meeting.
Okay. Any other corrections? Take a motion. Oh, Jim.
And I was present, and they got me absent.
Okay. Any other corrections that need to be made? All right. Noting those errors and corrections, we'll take a motion to approve.
I so move.
Second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye. All those opposed? None. We approve the minutes. We have today,
Yeah, the chairman's asked me to read the agenda for new business. I'm sorry, is any old business?
there is no old business, and yes, if you would please go ahead and read. We do have just one item of business, but there are 2 requests under that. And yes, Jim, if you would please, I have a problem with my eye today again. So if you would please, Jim, take care of that.
Item A is request HV 19-05 of Kirk Whalen on behalf of HOA at 4401 Elmore Avenue for a hardship variance to reduce the required parking for the proposed hotel. Proposed plans provided 118 parking spaces for the 108-room hotel. The property is zoned C3 General Commercial District. Section 17.10.040, Table 17.10-2 of the Davenport Municipal Code requires 162 parking spaces for a 108-room hotel. Now, the second request, I forgot to say it last time, but should we go with B?
Yes.
Okay. B, request HV 19-06 of Kurt Whalen on behalf of HOA at 4401 Elmore Avenue for a hardship variance to exceed the allowed height for the proposed hotel. Plans indicate a building height of 58 feet. The property is zoned C3 General Commercial District. Section 17.05.030, Table 17.05-1 of the Davenport Municipal Code allows a maximum height or building height of 50 feet for the property zone C3.
Thank you. Scott, if you would please present for the city.
Thank you. Scott Copes, Community Planning. The site is on Elmore. If you're probably familiar with the area, there's a couple lots left to develop between south of 46 and the developments to the south of there, Great Escape, etc. So the site is here. The rather developed site's right adjacent to the south. Senior Star is over here. The request we had last week was over here, a little bit off the map. Here's the parking diagram as it was in your staff report, and the elevation. We have not had any comments from any of the adjacent neighbors either way. And in our analysis, given the code changes that we're going through, last 2 weeks ago, they were at the P&Z level. Now they're at the council level, and we've not heard any issues with it at this time. There still needs to be at least 2 more readings at the council level, but we haven't had any concerns about it. Usually if there's something major, they come up fairly soon. So it's not a guarantee it's going to go through, but it's very likely that it'll go through, that the parking will be a 1-to-1 ratio. And if it was a 1-to-1 ratio, they would meet the parking requirements. As far as the height of the hotel, they would just be above that, so they would still need a hardship variance, but they're fairly close. And so given the timing of this request for the old code versus the new code, staff recommends in favor of both requests.
Thank you, Scott. Any questions for Scott? Judith?
Has there been any activity for development of the site at all, or is it still green space?
I don't know if there's been preliminary grading, but the building hasn't been built yet, no.
Scott, do you know anything about any development of the architect plans? We can probably ask that of the petitioner. We'll wait.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Great. Thanks, Scott. If the petitioner would please step forward, give us your name, address, and just give us your name.
Sure, it's Kirk Whalen, and I do live at 1727 Westminster Circle here. On behalf of the Heart of America Group. If you're asking about architectural plans, the plans are actually all done, and they're ready to go. There is one change for some stormwater that's pending, and if that, I think we've met all of those requirements. So if that is approved by the city this week, we would be prepared to have a building permit next week. So everything is done. It was designed to the old code. I guess that's our fault too. But even the new code would be 55 feet. So at 58, we would still need a hardship variance. I don't like to get out in front of things in the newspaper, but Almagall called me yesterday, so you may have seen the article. The Holiday Inn, just on the other side, is technically at 68 feet. It's at 80 feet if you count the parapet. So under the way the code is written now, they look at the top of the roof deck. So we're looking at that at 58 feet. But we're also not looking at anywhere near as tall a parapet, as the Holiday Inn has. So it won't be anywhere near, that height. Parking wise, as I wrote in the application, the old code was 3 parking stalls per room. That was kind of a 1940s almost type of count. Counts then went up. 1-to-1 was very, very common. But what we're finding is it's less than 0.7 needed now per hotel room, with as much with the Uber and Lyft, and that people really don't necessarily drive, have a car for every room. So we know we're adequately parked. We wouldn't underpark. That would be against our best interest. But so if I can answer any other questions.
Jim?
Yeah, Kurt, I got a couple questions.
Yeah.
The curb cut, where would the curb cut to come onto the site be? Can you see?
Sure.
If you
So-
arrow forward just one slide more, maybe. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So, poking myself here. So right down here, which would be right here.
Okay.
We originally looked at doing it here, but that starts to impinge on that decel lane. So by moving it up here, we're out of that whole decel lane.
Oh, okay. How many handicap spots have you planned for the parking?
Oh gosh, what was that? whoa, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
That's good. Okay, great.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, there, so there's 3 right here.
Okay,
There's 1 here, because that is an entrance in the building, and there's 1 here, because that's an entrance to the building.
okay.
So these, of course, have the sidewalk that would get into the front. They're not all in front, but they're right, right at the door, which is a much easier.
In your experience now, one more than I'm done.
Sure.
With your experience in the hotel business, do you get any complaints from the elderly and handicap or special needs people that there's not enough handicap spots?
No, we really have not.
Okay,
No.
okay, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, usually, as I say, even at this, at 118 stalls, it won't fill.
Okay.
So
yeah, I know.
there's usually always some available.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I have a question. When did you initiate the architect plans on this project?
Oh, early last year.
Early 2018?
First, we had to, very early,
Okay.
because you have to give preliminary plans to Marriott, and then once they're approved, then
Okay.
then you finish the plans.
And then, did I understand that the plans and plans that you had initially drawn up would require a hardship variance for the height and the parking spaces?
They do right now.
The
current-
original
yes.
ones, in 2018, they needed it also,
No. They would have met the code when we were designing.
when you were designing them in 2018?
Yes.
They would have met the parking space requirements then?
The parking space at that time was
Yeah.
1 stall per 3 rooms. So in theory, you'd only need about less than 40.
Okay,
Well, that's
then I heard wrong. I'm sorry, I just
Okay.
misunderstood you when you were speaking. All right. That would be all. All right, any other questions for the petitioner?
No, I just have to say, as a resident of the 6th Ward, I'm comfortable with the height, knowing that the Holiday Inn is right there. It seems like a reasonable hardship request to me, particularly given the length of time you've been working the design and working with the city, so just wanted to contribute that.
No, I am also very happy with the development. I do have a question that kind of came up, and it's really not relevant to this issue. What's the draw to all the hotels on this strip out here?
Okay. Well, I will tell you that when we proposed the Holiday Inn, Intercontinental Hotel Group, which owns the Holiday Inns, did not like the fact that we were near the retail. And the retail users really hated the fact of a hotel because they said, well, they're parking users, and people will want to park in front of the hotel, which most of our parking is behind. Well, the parking issue really has never been an issue. Everybody parks around the hotel, around the backside. But I will tell you this, when you ask, say, Loft, the top 3 zip codes are 52722, 52807, and the third one is, I don't know, I'm in the hotel. And I'm not making that up. Most of them, and actually what hotels are doing now are actually trying to site near retail, because when you go to a hotel, you're either sitting in your room and watching TV and that, or you're driving out for food, and then if you have a drink in today's world, that's very dangerous, and especially when you're traveling in hotels, you don't know where traffic is, you don't know turns real well, so people don't like that. If they can walk to retail or restaurants, it actually increases it puts heads in beds. It just does. So now retail likes hotels and hotel like retail, but it was, we were a little bit cutting edge on the Holiday Inn.
Okay. Well, we were just noticing that in that area and Utica Ridge as well. There's just such a
Yes.
cluster of hotels and Yeah.
So
Thank
people
you.
want to be around. So if there's so many restaurants and they're close, so that they can drive there. What I was asked yesterday is why are there so many new hotels? And it's because, first of all, every brand, the Hilton and Hyatt and IHG and Marriott, they all now have 25 different brands. I can't even keep track of every hotel brand there is, but people are very loyal for their points, and in fact, this Fairfield, was a replacement for the Fairfield that left the system. Used to be right near what's Green Chevrolet now. So this Fairfield, we know there's a demand for people that love a Fairfield. They love that. They know what the room is. They know what the breakfast is. And so, like the Holiday Inn, we knew that there were people staying outside of the area. And that was leakage. I mean, they weren't here to eat. They weren't here to shop. They would, be in Naperville, and then they would come in to do business here, and then might leave. So we actually have, it increases the pie when you have all those choices for people. And
Very
like I said,
interesting.
people are very brand loyal. They love their points.
We knew if anybody would know, you would. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Judith?
Yeah.
And I just have a question. I know that there's a restaurant at the Holiday Inn. Are you planning on having a restaurant or conference rooms or something like that in this one?
No, if the Fairfield model is they don't want that. So it's breakfast. There's that the breakfast, but they don't want meeting rooms or that. So.
All right, thanks
All
so
right,
very
thank you.
much. There is no one in the audience to ask about opposition or support of this petition, so did you have anything else to add before we move on this? All right. Any discussion among commissioners? Then we'll ask for a motion.
I would move to approve.
A second?
Second.
All right, call the vote, please. Excuse me. We will need to have the vote on them separately.
This will be for the first item, the parking.
All right, so noted. Is that?
Rice-Stroffer. And Cochran. Strayhall.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Hart.
Yes. And motion on item B,
I move to approve?
and a second? Call the vote, please.
Strayhall.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes?
Rice-Stroffer.
Yes.
Cochran.
Yes.
And Hart.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. There is no other business today, I can't see that. A motion to adjourn, please.
I so move.
Second, please. We are all in favor? Any opposed? We are adjourned, thank you.